Om Shanti. This is the Abhyakt Murli of 2 of October 2022. Original date 3 of October 1992. Title is A Brahmin is one who has a constant right to elevated fortune. Today, Bap Dada, the bestower of fortune, is pleased to see the elevated fortune of all his children. No one in the whole cycle, apart from you Brahmin souls, can receive such elevated fortune so easily. Only you Brahmin souls have a right to this fortune. You have received this Brahmin birth according to the fortune of the previous cycle. You have taken birth on the basis of your elevated fortune. Because Brahmin birth is given by God Himself. You have received this alaukic birth from the Eternal Father through the original Brahma. How fortunate would be the birth that you have received from the bestower of fortune. Do you remain happy by constantly keeping this elevated fortune of yours in your awareness? Let this awareness always be in a visible form. Let it constantly be immersed in your mind. Do not think it is immersed in your mind anyway. For you yourself should experience and others should also see in your every activity and on your face the visible form of you being an embodiment of awareness. That the line of elevated fortune is clearly visible in your activity and on your face. Let the list of how many types of fortune you have be clearly visible on your forehead constantly. Let the list not just be in your diary, but let the line of fortune be visibly sparkling in the center of your forehead. The first fortune, you have taken birth from the bestower of fortune. Secondly, it is not in the fortune of any other souls. Any righteous or great soul to have the fortune of having God Himself as the Father, Teacher and Sadguru. Is there anyone like that in the whole cycle? From the one in the relationship of the Father, you receive the inheritance. From the teacher you receive the elevated study and the attainment of a status. And from the form of the Sadguru, you receive the great mantra and blessings. You receive the right to all the treasures as your inheritance. You have all the treasures, do you not? Do you lack any treasure? Do the teachers lack anything? We should have a big house. We should have good students. Is this lacking? No. The more that service is free from obstacles increases, the more the facilities of service also increase easily and automatically. You are receiving the inheritance and elevated sustenance from the Father. Godly sustenance is such a great thing. On the path of devotion, people sing, God is the sustainer. However, you fortunate souls experience being under God's sustenance at every step. God's Srimad is your sustenance. You cannot take even one step without Srimad, that is, without God's sustenance. It is only at this time that you receive such sustenance. You will not receive such sustenance even in the golden age. That sustenance is from deity souls, whereas you are now moving along by being sustained by God. At present, you can say from your practical experience that the one sustaining you is God Himself. Whether you are in this land or abroad, each one of you can say with that sparkle of intoxication that your sustainer is God. Do you have such intoxication, or does this sometimes become merged and is sometimes immersed? From birth, you have been filled with unlimited treasures, and you have claimed a right to the imperishable inheritance. Along with that, as soon as you took birth, the true Trikaldarshi teacher has been teaching you the study of the three aspects of time in such an easy way. The study is so elevated, and the one who is teaching you is also so elevated. However, look at those who is teaching. He has created hope in those in whom the world has no hope. Not only does he teach them, but the very aim of studying is to attain the highest status of all. The elevated status that you attain through this godly study is so elevated that it is even more elevated than the highest status you could get in the whole world. Within the eternal world cycle, whatever perishable status there is to be attained from the copper age to now, the most elevated status that has been remembered is a royal status. However, what is that royal status compared to your royal status? Is it elevated? The most elevated status of today is to be a president or a prime minister. Through the highest study, some would become philosophers, some would become chairmen, directors, etc., or they would become the most senior officers. However, what are all of those levels of status compared to the status that you receive? In this one birth, you receive God's guarantee that you will attain the most elevated status for birth after birth, whereas you don't have any guarantee of attaining a status for even one birth in that worldly study. You are so fortunate that you received the most elevated status. In this study of just one birth, you attain a status for many births. So that is fortune, is it not? Is it visible on your face? Is it visible in your activity? You can tell people's state from their behavior. Is your behavior such that the state of your elevated fortune is visible from that? Or do you still seem to be ordinary? What is it? Let greatness be visible in ordinariness. Since even your non-living images still give the experience of greatness, even now, if you were to dress souls as Lakshmi and Narayan, or Rama and Sita, or any other goddess, people would experience such greatness in those ordinary beings and bow down to them. They know that those people are not really Narayan or Rama, that they are not real, but nevertheless, they would bow down to them due to their greatness. People salute and worship them. However, you souls are living forms of the gods and goddesses. Let there be such greatness experienced through you souls in living forms. Is this experienced? Let them salute your elevated fortune in their minds, not with their hands or their heads. Let them also dance in happiness from experiencing your fortune in their minds. The attainment of such an elevated study is elevated fortune. People are given an education in order for them to earn an income for the livelihoods of their bodies, which is also called a source of income. How much source of income do you have through this study? You are prosperous, are you not? What is the calculation of your income? Their calculation would be in terms of hundreds of thousands or millions. But what is your calculation? How much of a source of income do you have? Multi-millions at every step. So how many steps do you take each whole day, and how many multi-millions do you accumulate? Does anyone else have such an income? You have such great fortune. So let the experience of the fortune of your study emerge. If you asked anyone, they would say, I am a Brahma Kumar or Brahma Kumari. I have become that. However, to be a Brahma Kumar and Brahma Kumari means that the line of elevated fortune is seen sparkling on your forehead. It isn't that you are a Brahma Kumar or Brahma Kumari anyway, that you will anyway receive the fortune, that you will become something, that you are moving along anyway, that you have become this anyway. Do you say that you have become a BK, or do you fly when you see your fortune? Who would say, well, I have become this, I am becoming this, I am moving along? Are these the words of someone who is greatly fortunate? A Brahma Kumar or Brahma Kumari means one who lives an enjoyable life of love. It should not be that sometimes there is compulsion and sometimes there is love. What do you say when a problem arises? I didn't want it to happen, but I am under that compulsion. To be fortunate means all compulsion has finished. It means to move along with love. I want it, but this is not the language of fortunate Brahmin souls. Fortunate souls fly while rejoicing in the swings of love. They stay in the pleasure of the flying stays. They cannot have any compulsion. Do you understand? Do not keep your elevated fortune merged. Let it emerge. Third fortune. What fortune did you receive from the Sadguru? Firstly, you received the great mantra. What was the great mantra you received from the Sadguru? Be pure, be yogi. As soon as you took birth, you received this great mantra from the Sadguru. All the children received this great mantra, which is the key to all attainments. A yogi life and a pure life is the basis of all attainments. This is how it is the key. If there isn't purity, if there isn't a yogi life, then despite having a right, you will not be able to experience that right. That is why this great mantra is the key for you to experience all treasures. You have all received the key of such a great mantra from the Sadguru as your elevated fortune. Along with that, you have also received blessings from the Sadguru. The list of blessings is very long, is it not? How many blessings have you received? You have received the fortune of so many blessings that you live and can live your whole Brahmin life on the basis of those blessings. Do you know how many blessings you have? Do you know the list? So you have the inheritance. You have the study. You have the key to this great mantra and also the mine of blessing. So you are so fortunate. Or have you kept it hidden, thinking that you will open it at some time later? Those who have experienced fortune over a long period of time will be revealed as those who are multi-million times fortunate at the end too. If not now, then not at the end either. If you are this now, you will be this at the end too. Never think that you will become complete by the end. Only if your life be perfection begins now, will it be revealed as such at the end. Let yourself experience it now. Let others who come in contact with you experience it, and it will reveal to the world at the end. Do you understand? Today, Bap Dada was seeing the elevated line of the fortune of all the children. The father saw the fortune, but the children don't experience it to that same extent all the time. All of you have received the mine of fortune. However, some of you know how to use it, whereas others do not know how to use it. You do not use it as much as you could. Everyone has received it to the same extent. But you are number-wise in using the treasures and experiencing the treasures to be yours to the extent that they are the Father's treasures. The Father has not given them number-wise. He has given everyone the number one treasure. But you have all given yourselves a number in using those treasures. Do you understand why the numbers were created? The more you use them, the more you apply them, the more they will increase. If you simply keep them merged, they will not multiply. Neither will you be able to experience them, nor will you be able to give others that experience. Therefore, put them into your activity and on your face. Do you understand? what you have to do? Is it good to be happy with whatever number you receive? Okay, if not in the 108, then at least in the 16,000. At least I will become something. However, the beads of the rosary of 16,000 are not always turned. They are only turned sometimes and only in some places. People turn the beads of the rosary of 108 all the time. Now, who am I? You have to know this yourself. If the Father or someone else were to tell you that you are in the 16,000, what would you say? Would you believe it? You would begin to have question marks. Therefore, know yourself. Who am I? Acha. To all the most elevated, fortunate souls everywhere, to all the souls who have taken a godly birth and claimed a right from birth, to all those who have received their elevated inheritance from the Father and have taken godly sustenance, to those who have received from the true teacher the elevated status of an elevated study and who are earning an elevated income, to those who have received from the Sadguru the great mantra and all blessings, to such multi-million times fortunate, extremely elevated souls, to all the elevated souls who accumulate multi-millions at every step, Bap Dada's love, remembrance and namaste. Spiritual children says namaste to the spiritual father. Abhyakt Bap Dada meeting groups personally. The result of having accurate remembrance and doing accurate service is to be free from obstacles and to make others free from obstacles. Are the songs of your elevated fortune automatically playing in your minds? This is an eternal and imperishable song. You don't have to play it, but it automatically plays continuously. For this song to be playing all the time means for you always to experience the treasures of your happiness. Do you remain constantly happy? It is the duty of Brahmins to remain happy and to distribute happiness. Do you always remain busy doing this service? Or do you sometimes forget? What do you do when Maya comes? For the duration of Maya's stay, this song of happiness stops playing. If you constantly have the Father's company, Maya cannot come. Before Maya comes, she separates you from the Father's company and isolates you, and she then attacks you. If the Father is with you, Maya will salute you. She will not attack you. Now that you know Maya very well and that she is an enemy, why do you allow her to come? When you let go of the Father's company, Maya opens the door and enters. Put a double lock on the door, not just one. Nowadays, one lock will not do. So the double lock is remembrance and service. Service has to be altruistic service. This is the lock. If service isn't altruistic, the lock becomes loose and opens. Remembrance also has to be powerful. If it is ordinary remembrance, then that too is not a proper lock. So always check. You have remembrance, but is it ordinary remembrance or powerful remembrance? Similarly, you are doing service, but is it altruistic service or is there one selfish motive or another in it? If Maya comes while you are doing service and staying in remembrance, then something is definitely lacking in that service and remembrance. Continue to move forward with the awareness that you are the souls with elevated fortune who constantly sing songs of happiness. Accurate yoga and accurate service are the signs of remaining free from obstacles and making others free from obstacles. Are you free from obstacles, or do obstacles sometimes come? In that case, you sometimes pass and you sometimes fail. In any situation, if you ever have the slightest feeling, why is this like this? Why is this like that? Then that feeling means an obstacle. Always remember that if you stay beyond wasteful feelings and you become a soul who is feeling proof, you will become a conqueror of Maya. Nevertheless, you now belong to the Father. To belong to the Father is a matter of such happiness. You never even dreamed that you would have such a close relationship with God. And you have now become that in the corporeal form. So what will you remember? You are those who constantly sing songs of happiness. These songs of happiness can never end. A teacher means to be one who gives everyone the experience of angelic features through your own features. Are you such teachers? Do not let your ordinary form be visible. Let only your angelic form always be visible. Because you teachers are instruments. Those who are instruments give others the same experience as they themselves have. It is also your fortune that you have become instruments. Now increase the experience of this fortune in yourselves and also give this experience to others. The most important thing is to become an embodiment of experience. blessing. May you be full of good wishes and pure feelings and remain constantly alert by remaining aware of your responsibility. You children are responsible for changing the natures and attitudes of human beings. However, you can only fulfill this responsibility when your attitude is full of good wishes and pure feelings and is Sato-Pradhan and powerful. The awareness of your responsibility enables you to remain alert at all times. To give every soul liberation and liberation in life and a right to their inheritance is a huge responsibility. Therefore, never be careless and do not let your attitude be ordinary. Slogan: Reveal the Father, the bestower of support, with your every action, and many souls will reach their soar. Brackets, find their destination. Om Shanti.